After quickly listing down all the lessons from every Barbie film ever, and from Greta Gerwig's Barbie, I came to realize that there are still so many lessons to unpack both from Greta's Barbie and from the animated ones. I had only stated 43 short sentences without really discussing them, and I think we could all benefit from really diving into each lesson we've learned. Plus, I did invest 4 months in watching all 42 animated Barbie films, so I think it's fine that I make more Barbie videos. But for today's video, we will take a look at Greta Gerwig's Barbie, and we'll actually take time to explore the question that stereotypical Barbie had struggled with, and Billie Eilish had sung in the end credits, "What was I made for?" And as we answer this question, we will look into this existential idea biblically. Hi, I'm Zinni, and this is Barbie. What were we made for? For stereotypical Barbie, Margot Robbie, everything was perfect in Barbie land. However, when she suddenly had thoughts of death and dying, she began to feel like something was wrong with her. So, she sought out the answers in the real world. And of course, Ken, Ryan Gosling, secretly tagged along. Upon arriving in the real world, it wasn't exactly what Barbie expected it to be. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't fixed, and most importantly, it seemed like the Barbies made things worse. This was also the case for Ken. However, for Ken, the real world was exactly as it should be, as he learned a new concept that he knew would change his current insignificant status in Barbieland, the patriarchy. So when Barbie returned to Barbieland, everything was different. It was no longer Barbie's world. It was Ken's Mojo Dojo Casa House. And with this shift in power going on, stereotypical Barbie felt like this was a job for someone with more leadership skills. And when she felt the impossible weight of not being good enough, she began to fall apart and sank into an existential crisis. And that's when Gloria gave her glorious speech about the difficulties of being a woman. In the end, Barbie learned that being herself was enough. And again, Ken also learned this for himself. For so long, Ken had always relied his happiness on Barbie. As the narrator described,
Barbie has a great day every day, but Ken only has a great day if Barbie looks at him.
Ken never really desired the power that comes from the patriarchy. He only wanted Barbie to notice him, and at the end of the film, he finally understood that he can be happy without Barbie. And so, Greta Gerwig's Barbie came to a close with both Barbie and Ken discovering that their purpose was not found in their achievement, status, or a person, but found in themselves alone. And as we, the audience, sat there in our seats, Billie's "What Was I Made For" played, causing us to ask ourselves, what were we made for? Without context, this question inquires the purpose for one's existence. What were we made for? What is the purpose of our being? However, when you look at the premise of Barbie, we actually see that it's actually asking a different question. When stereotypical Barbie was feeling overwhelmed by everything going on around her and was feeling helpless, she started to sink into an existential crisis. In this context, what were we made for is asking a much deeper matter. If I can't do what I was made to do, then what am I really here for? Is my life worth anything if I'm incapable of doing the things I'm expected to do? In Matthew 18, when Jesus' disciples asked him, "Who then is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" Jesus answered that unless they change and become like little children, they will never enter the kingdom of heaven. So, whoever will humble himself like a child, he is the greatest. What is something about little children that Jesus reminds his followers to take after them? It is their humility and dependence. Children are just children. They don't have jobs. The greatest accomplishment they have is usually making a mess. They're not pressured by society's expectations. Actually, society doesn't have any expectations from them. If they make a mistake or don't do a certain thing, people would understand because they know that they're just kids. At the end of the day, children are just children. In her article, Barbie and Our Reason for Being, Roslyn Hernandez stated, "Purposelessness is children's highest purpose. They don't come into the world with an agenda. Their natural inclination is to rest assured in the love they receive, and not because they earned it, as they certainly don't do anything productive for others. No, Children's identities rest in being beloved and enough. They are unconditionally loved and delighted in just because they exist. In the same way, our reason for being is not dependent on our capabilities, achievements, status, or relationships. Life won't lose meaning just because we can't have or do what society expects of us. We are enough simply because we are. In fact, we are unconditionally loved just as we are. Romans 5:8 says, "But God demonstrates His own love toward us, in that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us." While we were still sinners, while we have fallen short of the glory of God, Christ died for us. But let me take this concept a step further. Yes, we are unconditionally loved just as we are, but not because of who we are, and most certainly not in anything we could have done. We are unconditionally loved because of who God is. 1 John 3:1 says, "See what great love the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called children of God, and that is what we are." Our identity and purpose rest in what God thinks of us. In Zephaniah 3:17, it says, "The Lord your God is with you, the mighty warrior who saves. He will take great delight in you. In His love He will no longer rebuke you, but will rejoice over you with singing." That is what God thinks of us. He rejoices over us with singing. And I believe that's even more comforting than finding meaning in ourselves alone. Because let's be honest, people change and our feelings change too. We don't always feel worthy, we don't always have it all together, and that's fine. But if we find meaning in the God who never changes, who loves us unconditionally, even in our worst days, even when we feel so worthless, we still have a reason to live, and our life still has meaning. Isaiah 54:10 says, "Though the mountains be shaken and the hills be removed, yet my unfailing love for you will not be shaken, nor my covenant of peace be removed," says the Lord who has compassion on you. So with everything that I've said, I hope that you would let go of who the world thinks you are, and even what you think of yourself sometimes, and just let God tell you who you are. And who are you? What were you made for? You were created in His image. You are His. And not only is that enough, it is very good. Hello guys, I just want to acknowledge Roslyn's article about Barbie. It really helped a lot in this video. So I put the link of her article in the description. So go ahead and read it for yourself. I also want to thank you guys for the overwhelming love and support I got from my lessons from every Barbie film ever. Thank you so much again. I'm really happy that my 4-month watch paid off. I will also try to make more Barbie videos because I still have so many thoughts to share. I also want to give a big shout out to Sian, who is a big fan of Billie Eilish. So anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you again next time. Bye!